Good day, everyone. Let's begin with a simple thought. In our everyday life, how often do we read something? Maybe a text message, a Facebook post, a road sign, or even a meme. That's all connected to literacy. But today, literacy means much more than just reading and writing. So, what is literacy? UNESCO 2004 defines literacy as the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, and communicate using written materials in different contexts. It's used to mean simply reading and writing, but today it also means being able to find, evaluate, and create knowledge in many forms, such as text, images, audio, and more. The Partnership for 21st Century Learning on 2019 says 21st century literacy goes beyond basic reading and writing to include the skills to live and work in a global digital society. It blends critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication, and includes four key literacies, such as the information literacy, media literacy, digital literacy, and visual literacy. Why does these literacies matter? It is because children face an information explosion and must tell fact from fiction. Next, digital citizenship keeps them safe and respectful online. And also, these skills prepare them for future jobs and civic life. And most especially, building habits early in elementary gives them a lifelong advantage.
What is information literacy? Information literacy is the ability to recognize when information is needed to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. So this means that knowing when you need information, finding it, checking it if it is reliable, and using it properly. Students can practice by asking, who is the author? When was it written? Is it trustworthy? Is it reliable? So strategies and techniques. Guided encouragement. Model researching and selecting facts using kids-safe websites or library books. So this means that to help students become better at finding and using information, teachers can use easy techniques. First is guided encouragement, where the teacher shows how to search and pick facts using safe websites or library books. This helps students learn how to find good sources. Second is think aloud evaluation. So where the teacher reads out loud and explain how to to check the author, date, and if the source is trustworthy. So the teachers students to think carefully while reading. So these strategies build strong research habits and help students become smart, confident, and learners. So last is classroom examples. First is in B.Ed classroom, students can develop information literacy, thought simple, hands-on tasks. In science, they conduct a mini research by comparing the facts about why plants need sunlight. Using a book and kid-friendly website, this helps them spot difference and check reliability. For history, students interview a grandparent about local event and compare the story with a textbook. So the teacher tells them how to balance personal accounts with written sources. And when we say health, students create a poster by researching one hygiene tip from two resources and citing both. So this builds good habits in using and creating information. So these activities train students to find, evaluate, and information wisely.
Let's proceed to media literacy. It is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and act using all forms of communications, according to National Associations for Media Literacy Educations. So it means that being able to find and use media information effectively. So media literacy helps students go from passive consumers to active thinkers and creators. It's not just about screens, it's about understanding the world around them and using communications to shape it. So there are two strategies or techniques on how to develop this literacy. So first is media decoding. So media decoding is all about how we interpret and make sense of the messages we see, hear, or read in media. So whether it is a movie, a meme, a news article, or even TikTok. So example, the students are tasked to watch an ad or PSA and ask them to who made it and what is the purpose of that advertisement. So the second strategy and techniques is all about create and reflect. So this means that students learn to produce their own media, whether a video, podcast, blog post, an infographics, or even a meme. So for example, the students are given a task to design a poster or a short audio clip, and the teacher asks them to explain the color, words, and sound choices. So there are three examples of media literacy, and first is the ad detective. So a person who analyzes advertisements. So examine a serial advertisement and identify persuasive tricks. So serial advertisement commonly use name calling, glittering generalities, and transfer as a score persuasive techniques. And the second examples are class radio news. So the students are tasked to create a group record 1 minute school news audio and discuss target audience. The third is civic poster. So the students are tasked to create a kindness campaign poster, and classmates are tasked to evaluate its persuasive techniques. So for example, the campaign poster is through kindness we're stronger together. So it highlights the power of kindness in building stronger, more resilient communities. So act of kindness, whether big or small, foster a sense of unity, empathy, and mutual support, which ultimately makes a group of community stronger.
Now, let's have the digital literacy. According to UNESCO 2018, digital literacy as the ability to use information and communication technologies to find, evaluate, create, and communicate information using both thinking and technical skills. It's not just knowing how to click, it's thinking critically and using technology safely and creatively. There are two simple approaches. Number one is the tool-guided lessons. Teachers must teach one digital tool at a time. For example, a kid-safe search engine or a basic slideshow while setting clear safety rules. Number two, digital citizenship and mini lessons. Quick talks on passwords, privacy, and respectful online behavior so pupils learn to be responsible digital citizens. In a classroom setting, there are 3 easy activities. Number 1 is a kid-safe search challenge. For example, the pupils must find one Philippine animal fact and paste it on a class slide. Number 2 is the digital storybook. They must type or record a short story with approved images. Number 3 is intro to coding. Start with unplugged sequencing games, then try block coding apps like Scratch Junior. Digital literacy is really a life skill. By teaching children to use technology wisely and creatively, we help them become responsible digital citizens ready for the 21st century.
So now, let's proceed to the fourth literacy, which is the visual literacy. So when we say visual literacy, it is the ability to interpret, to negotiate, and to create meaning from information presented in the form of an image. So at the elementary level, visual literacy should be provided in age-appropriate, engaging, and hands-on ways so that students can learn to interpret, to think critically, and to create meaning with images. So now, I have here 2 strategies and techniques in a visual literacy that is tailored for young learners. So the first strategies and techniques in visual literacy is the image interrogation, where in this strategy, you will show a photo and then ask the students, what do you see? Inferential, what might be happen? Question, so that in this strategy, you will guide the students to read the pictures or to predict the illustration, what might be happening. So this builds comprehension and inference skills to the young learners. And the second strategies and techniques in visual literacy is create to communicate, wherein in this strategy we'll make a storyboard or picture sequence and then ask the students to retell a story or to ask the students to explain the visual in their own words. Developing visual literacy is about slowing down to see more, asking critical questions, and also practice making visual yourself. So now, I have here 3 examples of visual literacy in elementary education. The first one is a picture walk. In picture walk activity, the students will read a picture book. For example, a book of The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So instead of focusing only the text, you as a teacher will let the students to describe what the illustration shows that the text does not explicitly state. For example, emotions on characters' faces, signs, changes, or the patterns of the food. So after this activity, the students will develop a skill on how to interpret images, to notice details, and also to connect a visual with narrative meaning. The second example in a visual literacy is emotion portraits. In this activity, you will let the students to draw a face showing an emotion. And after illustrating an emotion, the students will show their drawing one by one, and you will let their classmates guess and discuss the visual clues. So example, one of your students draw a sad face, so the students or her or his classmates will identify and discuss the visual clues. So they will discuss the emotion that is being drawn by their classmates. And the third examples of visual literacy is interpreting infographics. So in this activity, the teacher will present a simple hand-washing infographic or any infographic, and then the students will explain the sequence of arrows, the colors, and icons. Then they will create their own diagram to represent the same process. So in this activity, the students will develop a skill in how to understand visuals, communicate a process, sequencing information, and also reinforcing content knowledge through creation.